Hi guys, welcome to Ray's Driveway. For some reason, no, I know what sparked it, okay? I did a video yesterday about how FSD went by my house, basically calling that a fail. So let's start with what we're talking about here. This is my driveway. Right over here to the right is my mailbox, and right up there is Santa Rosa. All right, so let's start with that. All right, so you might ask, Ray, if the main purpose of FSD is not to drive your car home for you, what is the main purpose of FSD? I don't want to necessarily speak for Tesla and Elon exactly. They've already spoken out about it, so they should be your primary source for information. But my interpretation is their intent is to create a fleet of what they call Robo Taxis. Basically Ubers, except not requiring human drivers. Okay? So when I test out Robo Taxi delivery, that's what I'm looking for, is can FSD do a Robo Taxi style delivery? Now, some of you might have different interpretations of what that means, and that's fair until it's here, until we see how it works. I mean, we're all just guessing. I mean, there have been breadcrumbs, there have been little hints. It appears pretty clear that we know what's going to happen, but until it actually happens, you don't know. So what I have been doing when I get home is I let FSD determine when to stop, with the idea that it should stop relatively close to my driveway. I don't know. I mean, if I get dropped off down there, then I have to walk across the grass. If I get dropped off over there, well, it's not too far into my driveway, but it's not quite as convenient. And, everything else is just kind of far away for a taxi drop off. All right, so that's the basis of what we're looking at. I hope it sort of makes sense. Okay, so here we are, basically at the corner of Winslow, Cove, and Santa Rosa Avenue. That mailbox right down there in that driveway, that mailbox, my mailbox, that's my house. Over on the other side of the street here, the closest mailbox to the right, that's the neighbor's house. Not exactly across the street from me, but it's the closest neighbor, so to speak. So when I say it stopped at my neighbor's house, that's what it means it stopped there, or stopped at that mailbox. Okay, so there you go. There it is, looking southbound on Santa Rosa Avenue. All right, there's the electric box from my house. Just to give you an idea of how far away it is to walk there. Is it terribly far? No, it's not terribly far. It's just the idea of it's supposed to be closer. All right, here we are down at Santa Rosa Avenue in Santa Rosa Cove. So this is looking back up north towards my house. And so down here is the Cove where I go turn around when FSD goes past my house. Okay, there you go. There's a driveway there. There's a driveway there. Okay, now let's leave that one alone. We'll come back to it. Okay, so this gives you an idea of the scenario of where we're at when we're having this problem. All right, so to be fair, in the early days with 11.4.9, this is where the car would come to a stop. To the right side of the road, just with the front bumper about equal to the mailbox over here. And that left me plenty of room to just drive in. And it felt like that was about as close as he could get at that time. All right, so 11.3.3 and 12.3.3 and 12.3.4 have now off and on added a consistent roll by the driveway. It's not all the time. Sometimes he will stop here. Sometimes he will actually pull into the driveway. But a lot of the time, he's actually rolling down to that mailbox, the neighbor's mailbox down there. Okay? It's just odd behavior, that's all. Okay, so I've given you a brief introduction of what FSD is, what Robo Taxi is. Giving you a somewhat brief overview of what the layout is. So you should have at least some kind of idea of what I'm talking about when I say it. Let's go from there. There's one thing I haven't done, huh? All right, so let's talk about the various levels of Tesla automation, shall we? So first of all, there's the basic level of the accident collision prevention software, such as blind spot detection, pushing your car back into the center of the road, that kind of stuff. That's the base level. Every Tesla has that. Okay, second level is traffic aware cruise control, or TAC. It's really a glorified cruise control, but it reads all the speed zones and adjusts, at least basically adjust to the speeds. That's just by the signs. I would include the active school zone signs with that, although I haven't seen it work, so who knows. The next level, and some people mention this, is autopilot. Okay, autopilot comes on every Tesla. I mean, if you have a really old Tesla, it doesn't have all the proper cameras, it may not have autopilot, I don't know. Both of my cars have autopilot. Autopilot's basically, I want to call it lane centering. I mean, it doesn't switch lanes for you. It doesn't follow navigation. And it doesn't, well, it has varied. It has varied whether or not it's done this, but it does not stop for traffic lights or stop signs. Now, maybe you have a different experience. I will admit that it gets confusing with how sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't over the past couple of years. And yes, I've had, okay, to be fair, my Model Y, it will be 2 years in June. Okay? My Model 3, it's running up on 11 months right now, and that's the one with FSD in it. Okay. So, the optional software that you have to opt into and buy, unless you're using the trial version, is FSD. Okay, so you can get FSD. FSD follows navigation. So in theory, if I'm sitting here or if I've just pulled out of my driveway and I'm parked on the street here, and I push in 24, it gives me the coordinates for 24-hour gym down at Breaker in 183. And navigation will plan a path to get there, and it's FSD's job to follow that navigation. And navigation will provide a suggested drop-off point. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for him actually getting there and following the navigation and actually coming to that drop-off point. Onward, upward. All right, guys, welcome to Grandpa. We're going to try to show some of the stuff dealing with stopping at my house. Okay, first of all, I hope you can see that. There's a blue dot under the auto icon here. That means there's been an update. Of course, it's on autopilot. Okay, there's no obvious changes to autopilot or FSD. Car is up to date as of this afternoon. All right, no update for you today. Okay, whatever. I am on the network. It's just no update. Okay, so let's, because of the blue dot, that means they've done some kind of update. So let's take a little drive, see if anything feels different. And then I want to show what shows up on the screens as I'm approaching the house, because it sounds like there's a lot of confusion there, or at least a lot of statements that aren't necessarily accurate. Okay. All right, here we are approaching my house.
Your destination will be on the left.
500 feet, 400 feet. So this is the satellite map.
Now your destination is on the left.
Let me stop it here. Okay, so that was a break on FSD off. Okay. So here, this dot is roughly right with the roof line over there with my garage. This red triangle, of course, is my car. So there you go. I think some people were hinting that maybe there's some kind of map mix up here, and I don't think there is. So there you go. So let me try pulling into the driveway. I won't turn off, well, FSD is off, whoops. But navigation is still running. So there you go. I am in my driveway. The red triangle is touching on the white, oh, it's actually more than just touching the white dot. So there you go. That is an almost perfect Robo Taxi delivery. Okay. Now, I do have Home Link, which is this activate thing up here, or actually this little symbol. So the car itself has been programmed to open my garage door. So supposedly, when we get further along, FSD could even open the garage door for me. Although I don't think he'll like parking my garage because I keep things too close. Now you might notice, because I pulled into the driveway, it's kind of a little bit more white here as opposed to just gray. So it has detected the driveway now that it's in it. Okay. I don't know if you noticed it or not, but it did not show any mailboxes, which is a feature it used to show the mailboxes. Okay, there's that part. Okay, so here we are in Whitney Cove. It says we're 200 feet away from the house. Now I've taken off the satellite view, so this is just navigation view. Now it looks like we should stop right by that dot.
Now turn right onto Santa Rosa.
Oh, you know what? They don't have a yield sign up here. Oh, but he's going to treat us as a yield? Wow. Okay. I'm never quite sure what FSD is going to do in these cases. Okay. We're good. All right. So let's see if the little blue dot has something to do with where we're going to stop up here. 300 feet. 200 feet.
Now your destination is on the left.
100 feet. That's right there on the left. Oh, if it just stopped. Okay. Maybe slowly but surely they're making progress. Who knows? We're definitely, I mean, my property's still there to the left. I haven't passed the electric box yet, which is closer to my house than when I used to stop down there by that mailbox. Okay. Anyway, that gives you a flavor of what this is. All right, so again, the behavior is different. It was almost pulled into the neighbor's house here to my left, which is a surprise. I haven't seen that before, but whatever, it is what it is.
Now turn right onto Santa Rosa Avenue.
Okay, reinvoke FSD now that we've turned around. And there's no stop sign here either, no yield sign. So he has come roaring out of here before. Yeah. So those of you asking about the nits and nag, or the Tesla nits and nag, there you go. You've seen both of them. And we're rolling past my mailbox. Okay. Enough of that. Let's back up and get into the driveway, shall we? All right, so there you go. There's a probably longer than you wanted it to be. Anyway, a brief overview of not being delivered to the house. And yes, obviously, when I got tired enough of it, brake on FSD off, put it in reverse, back up and pull it into the driveway. Yes, I am able to do that task. For those of you wondering. All right, so let's start here. Hopefully y'all have seen enough to know the map data looks like it's pretty reasonable. The navigation dot looks like it's in the right spot. And when my car's parked on top of that dot, it's exactly where it should be. So I don't think we have a problem there. For those of you wondering about the status of my driveway, for lack of a better way to say it, it's according to city code, and this driveway is essentially just like any other driveway in Central Texas, at least. I'd be surprised if you found somebody had a different in a city. Anyway, I mean, Long Vista not exactly a big city, but it is reinforced concrete with the wood separators, so that's pretty normal, right? I think it is. So hopefully, with my brief explanations, I at least given you some kind of idea why I'm looking for Robo FSD to stop at least in front of my house, in front of my driveway. I mean, it really should do much better, but as one person pointed out, that's somewhere in the future. Okay, I agree with that. Elon's already suggested that 2 major releases are still coming, that they already have in their testing process. So it's just a question of being patient to some extent. Okay, I'll give you that. To the guy who said, well, it's not programmed to do that. Gee, I hate to, I don't know. I don't know how much experience you have with software development and for testing, but 3 times it did pull exactly into my driveway. So if it's not programmed to do that, how did it do it then? Okay, but as you mess with the various training setups for the neural net, things get lost sometimes. That I understand. Hopefully, yes. So for those of you who said this, hopefully you're right. We just have to be patient. I can already tell you that Elon has a target date of August 8th to really have this nailed down, right? I mean, that's when he's supposed to talk about Robo Taxi, Cybercab, whatever it is we're going to call it. And it's actually a combination of all those things, I believe. Okay? For the one person who said he absolutely did not like EVs, as I said in my comments, I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, I wish you could tell me what it is you have a problem with. I mean, so there's several different things, right? There are those people who believe that making a lot of noise gives soul to a car or to a vehicle. Okay? Yes, my car is fairly quiet. Now, sitting in the back seat, I was surprised at how much whine there is as I'm driving, or as somebody else is driving, actually. But outside, you wouldn't hear hardly anything. Okay, I get it. I hope that at some point you can rethink what it is you're saying, because I believe, okay, this is just my belief, I believe that sooner or later electric cars will kind of rule. And it may not even be electric cars, it may be Robo Taxi, cyber cabs, whatever they are, right? Because let's face it, the more, how do you say it? The more use you get out of the car, the better, the less pollution is being thrown up in the air. Okay? Now I get it. Some of you are, well, I don't create any pollution. Yeah, how many of y'all own a diesel? How many of you have your diesel tuned so it doesn't smoke at all? Yeah. You should be able to do it. And it should be able to run better if you tune it properly. If you have it tuned improperly, it'll create a lot of black smoke, which of course is pollution going into the air. And it's going into your brains. Okay? So, just think about it. You know, the other part of it, of course, is if you're using gasoline or diesel, chances are you're getting the oil to generate that from some OPEC member. Not from the United States of America. No. From someplace else. Now, the United States of America may be shipping oil to that company to offset the oil they're bringing in. But how long do you have to be dependent upon somebody else? All you guys here in Texas or any place else like that, for example, I mean, does Texas actually use the oil that Texas produces to refine into gasoline and diesel? I don't know how true it is. I just heard some stuff about it. Okay, now I'm trying to say I know exactly what's going on. I don't. But if it's important you stay with this route, you better follow up and see what you're dependent upon. On the other hand, at least part of my electric power comes from solar power. At least that's what the electric company tells me. So there you go. All right. Well, I haven't added up, but I'm pretty sure this will be a somewhat long video. I'm not even trying to make it a short. It's not possible. A lot of it, I hope, is boring. Really. That's what this should be. It should be boring. Should be no controversy. Should be no, I have to think about a whole lot. It should be like pretty obvious, pretty straightforward. Okay? Yes. Tesla, the AI team at Tesla, they have a lot of hard work ahead of them. Yes. Those of you who said that, you're absolutely right. Okay? So, there's education out there. You can go watch YouTube videos or go to X if you prefer X. Tesla posts on both of them. So you can learn about Teslas. You can learn about how the systems work. And maybe you'll know more about it than I do. Of course, I've been living with FSD for almost 11 months now. Oh my goodness. So yes, I know how much better 12.3.4 is compared to 11.3.6, which is the first version of FSD I got. Okay. But here you go. And what? Okay. If you can't live with Tesla, there are other choices. Just make sure you know what you're getting into. Okay. That's all I really ask you. Think through what you're doing. Good luck. Onward, upward charge.